So then we've exhausted the Jordan Walker thing, and we already kind of asked you. Well, you went into a personal topic of your own regarding a controversial take. But I have another one for you because I've specifically seen at least one person get on you for your thoughts on Adam Wainwright. And I know you've had to kind of defend that one in the Twitter sphere yourself. I've had questions about him. I was kind of high on him coming from winter warmups, just hearing his thoughts about himself going into the season. But at this point, he's showing that he's got some struggles and that age might be catching up to him. And you wrote an interesting article that I'll let you kind of tell your opinion and then back it up with some of your thoughts there.
Yeah, and so some of my opinion came from just trying to think of Adam Wainwright's mentality as a competitor. Like, I don't see him coming into the season being a guy who puts up a mid 4 or close to 5 ERA and thinking that's the way he wants to go out. That doesn't seem like Adam Wainwright to me. But on the other end of the spectrum, he probably believes he can keep getting better, so maybe he'll push through it. But my thoughts were, man, if his velocity's still down, if he's still getting hit constantly like this, like, does he consider calling it? I didn't necessarily say he should, necessarily would, but in my head, it makes a lot of sense to sit down and look in the mirror for a minute and be like, is this really my last season? Do I want to go into this, or is my time up? And there's some pretty telling signs. If he was throwing 89, 90 and getting hit around, whatever, it's Adam Wainwright, he'll out. But he was second percentile in velocity last year, throwing 88 miles an hour. If that drops down to 86, he's going to be the slowest pitcher of the majors. And so, sure, you could pitch around and be fine. But last year, especially toward the end of the year, he had those big struggles. His command was a little off. Even he was a little bit better in the World Baseball Classic game, but I mean, in spring training, he was missing glove side a lot. His command wasn't really there. Again, it's early on. But if he's going to be throwing this slow, I mean, he's going to have to perfect every pitch he throws. And then the fact that he's getting clubbed off of by Team Canada, and then, Great Britain.
Great Britain, yeah.
And then even the spring training games, I had high expectations this year too. I just don't see it.
Yeah, one thing that I was saying last year, he mentioned one of the reasons he struggled so much was his stride. And obviously he is an absolute veteran. He will know more about pitching than I will ever think to know. I'll never touch his feel for pitching, obviously. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I also wonder if that's a way of telling himself that, oh, it's just a mechanical issue, oh, it's just this, it's just a stride, I'll fix my stride and then I'll be back to where I was. It's like he made that awesome run, and that's all we can really ask for. So yeah, I kind of understand where you're coming from, where the struggles that there might be quite a few struggles coming for us this year.
And if their expectations of him as a fifth starter this year, then sure, he could be that. He might not be quality. But I mean, in his head, he's probably thinking back in 2016, he threw 198 innings and had a 1.62 ERA. The next year, he had a 5.11 ERA over 120 innings. 2019, or 4.19 ERA over 170 innings. And then 2020, he's 315, 2021, 305. So he's reinvented himself. So maybe he's like, okay, I've done this before. I'll figure it out. I really hope that's the case.
I hope so too. I think he kind of got shafted a little bit by the strike zone. Like a guy who throws slow, who can't live low, and then that was kind of what was happening in the World Baseball Classic, is that umpire wasn't calling the low strike, so he had to elevate, and when you elevate slow pitches, they're just going to get rocked.
Yeah.
So I do understand that was maybe his struggle, but at the same time, if you're still only topping out at 86, like it does suck, because I wanted this to be a season. I wanted him to get to 200 wins. He was hoping to get past a 210 or something. I can't remember which one he said, but he said he had a measure for himself when he was talking to Rick Horton, and so he had high expectations, and I agree with you. I hope that he's at a spot where he is. It is just a mechanical issue, but at this point, it doesn't look like it's coming together. We still have some time, and if we're given if we're giving Jordan Walker leeway, I want to give one of the greatest Cardinals that I've gotten to watch, Adam Wainwright, some leeway. So, but I did want to hear you a little bit on that, because I know that there was one person in particular that I was watching you get into exchange with, and that was pretty interesting to watch.
I'm just having a conversation here.
I'm
not calling him a terrible player. I'm not questioning his character. I mean, everyone at some point in our lives, we're all going to start being bad at what we were good at. And I call it on.
Yeah.
And
I only have beef with one player. That's it.
Who's that?
Well, I got Jazz Chisholm to reply to me, so that was pretty cool.
It was, that was pretty epic.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think my biggest fear with the Wainwright situation is it's like June. And I think that's worst case scenario. I don't think that's going to happen. But, I would just hate it if it's like, hey, he's got to retire midseason. Because they're trying to win the World Series. They can't, it's the whole Albert thing. There's people who were like, they shouldn't bring him in because they're going to have to PFA midway through the year. It's going to go terribly. And it went great. Yeah. So I really hope that's Wainwright's situation. I can see
it's different for pitchers.
Yeah, it is. And Wainwright or Pujols came in, at the very least, he was going to hit left-handed pitching. That was easy to see. Wainwright right now, it's like, man, I really hope you're a good fourth or fifth starter, or even average. That's fine. It's probably not gonna make the playoff rotation at this point, and that's fine. But so I'm hopeful, man. Adam, please, we would love to see one more magical season. I'm all for you. I'm gonna support you.